that we postpone this until the next meeting and allow for the development of that information to happen so that we have a, I think, fuller picture of what I view as kind of a dual tracks that things are on at this moment in time.
And are you willing to work with the executive director and the staff in terms of elucidating that, helping them with understand explicitly the information that you think
I will
necessary?
share my questions with them, and then I think that it really falls to staff to develop that information.
Okay, thanks. So we do have a motion on the table. Can I have a second for that, unless there's further conversation?
Second.
All in favor? Let the record show the commission that Commissioner McBride made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Doyle. All in favor?
What's the motion?
Could you repeat it?
The motion is to postpone consideration of this until our next meeting to further develop some information and answer some questions that I perhaps
And
others have.
should we make sure that we get the chafed comment into the motion?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion that was made by Commissioner McBride, seconded by Commissioner Doyle. All in favor?
Mr. Chairman.
Let the record show the commission unanimously approved the recommendation to postpone this conversation until the 8th. the next
If I
meeting.
may, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
Mr. Executive Director.
Just for purposes of clarity, I think primarily for the commission's clarity, during the course of conversation, I want to make it clear the licensee in this context has engaged with staff in a productive, meaningful way.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that's clear.
Yes. No, thank you. I appreciate that clarification.
And
Keep
so
going.
within that is, I also expect that during the course of any intervening days or weeks, that's still going to be the case.
Yes.
And so as conversations are had, that's important as far as context, that they have been cooperative with us. They have supplied us information when requested. They have sat for interviews when required, when requested. So any characterization that suggests otherwise, I just want to make sure is not just for purposes of a record, but also we as a team are working through this as diligently as we can.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And look, this is obviously complicated. This is, at least in our year and 11 months almost of operation, it's unprecedented. So I, first of all, appreciate your clarification, and I do appreciate that the applicant has been cooperative. I just think this is complicated enough to warrant the deferral that Commissioner McBride requested that we just approved. I also want to say this is not on the staff either. This is just really complicated, and so appreciate all the work that the staff has done up to this point and will do over the next 3 weeks. And I'm actually quite confident that we'll get to where we need to and have all the information necessary to have an informed and productive conversation and discussion and vote on this. So again, this is just really hard, guys. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the applicant for their participation, cooperation, and patience. We'll get this right. Okay. Yes. Commissioner Title.
Very quickly, because I don't think we did yet, I just wanted to thank the staff for your diligence in catching this.
Okay. There are 2 agenda items left. One is there has been a proposal by Commissioner Title to just provide an update to guidance on the positive impact plan, specifically because of the lack of a technical. Commissioner Title, if you wouldn't mind just taking the lead on this conversation.
Sure. Just give me a second to open the language. But while I do that, this is a small addition to the positive impact plan guidance, which includes the ability to contribute to the Commission's Social Equity Technical Assistance Fund, which many licensees put in their plans. However, we have been unable to create that fund. There's a bill pending that would allow us to. In the meantime, this edit would give them the ability to do what many licensees have already put in their renewal documents, which I appreciate, which is an alternative. So the proposed language is as follows. For the purpose of evaluation upon renewal, businesses that submitted positive impact plans, which included contributions to the Cannabis Control Commission, Social Equity Training and Technical Assistance Fund, may instead make equivalent contributions to funds established for the purpose of providing capital through loans or grants to economic empowerment applicants or social equity program participants. Such contributions may not violate the Commission's regulations with respect to limitations on ownership or control or other applicable state laws.
Thank you, Commissioner Title.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Flanagan.
I just have one question. Who is going to oversee this fund? that they're going to now put it into?
Well, it's not specified because it could be the licensee themselves, as some have. It could be nonprofit organization. It could potentially be a municipality. It's unspecified.
And is there going to be, a process by which people can apply to these funds? I guess my concern is that if it's individual organizations taking this money, are the qualifications to obtain this money going to be different for people? Or is it going to be a standard application type, and who's going to oversee that?
So I'm flexible, but the way that I was picturing it was that because they are applicants that are already certified by us, that we would not oversee which were selected.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Commissioner
sorry.
Doyle.
Go ahead. I just had one question, and that actually relates to future consideration of the social equity leadership. Because that, if memory serves, is limited to the fund, can I just request that if we are going to do this via guidance, that we further consider for the fall regulatory process, that we update that leadership award? Because if they're making the effort to contribute to a fund that does this, I think they should get that recognition.
Great.
Are you suggesting the equivalent change?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be part of any motion or anything. I'm just flagging it.
We'll put it
Yeah.
into the agenda.
Good point.
Great. Any other comments? Okay. Then can I ask for a motion, please, Commissioner Tuttle?
Move to make this change to the positive impact plan guidance.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, excuse me, let the record show Commissioner Tuttle made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Doyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let the record show the Commission unanimously approved the motion. Thank you very much. There's one last agenda item, and I don't mean to imply that it's because it's the last one and we have 11 and a half minutes, it's the least important. It's actually an incredibly important part of our agenda, which is to talk about the public awareness campaign and the next phase of it. Cedric Sinclair, our Director of Communications, is going to lead this. If that's okay, then Commissioner Flanagan, you want to make some comments at the end? Or do you want to make some comments at the beginning now?
Very briefly, he can.
Cedric?
I'll be as brief as possible, but just as a brief reminder that August 2018, we launched the public awareness campaign focused on youth prevention. Since that time, we have added additional phases, which include responsible use for adults, and we are now looking at the new phase of the public awareness campaign. During those initial phases, we focused heavily on social media, developing a website on mass.gov where we send traffic to it, and you can see a significant boost in traffic due to the public awareness campaign, which includes a 757% increase in page views, 836% increase in website sessions, and a 533% increase in unique users coming to the website, largely driven by the paid promotions of the public awareness campaign, ensuring that people who weren't finding the website organically were being exposed to the key messages of the campaign. Due to statistics on usage around millennials and Generation X, we saw that social media was going to be an important piece to delivering these messages. And Twitter alone drove nearly 44% of the 3.6 million online views, with video on demand and pre-roll from a number of sources, really developing the second most driven traffic. And so we really wanted to drive the campaign through non-traditional and disruptive media so as I mentioned, we have developed new aspects of the public awareness campaign, the current phase we're going into. One of the new pieces is really content that focuses on the dangers of home manufacturing. The first initial phases, with the first initial phases, this rounds out and allows us to complete our mandate on, it's chapter 55 around public awareness. And so within this public awareness campaign on the dangers of home manufacturing, we partnered with more advertising and conducted a series of 45-minute interviews with key stakeholders. Those stakeholders included public and fire safety officials, cannabis researchers, as well as industry leaders, both in the allied industry and the licensed industries. So through that engagement with the stakeholders, we really were able to highlight that one of the most dangerous aspects of home manufacturing is the extraction of cannabis and cannabidiol oils at home with flammable substances like propane and butane. These vapors, the vapors from these materials can ignite, trigger explosions, and really create some concerning challenges. Additionally, we also focused on dosing, accidental ingestion, and the risk of electrical fires. We developed 4 public awareness campaign videos and additional rack cards to add to our suite of outreach materials. In order to raise awareness on this portion of the campaign, we'll focus on distributing those rack cards at outreach events that the commission is engaged at. And additionally, we'll engage in what's called contextual marketing, really allowing the search engine keywords that a person's using to decide how and if we serve the ad to them. And so if you're searching for content that indicates you're looking to buy materials, looking for online videos to teach you how to manufacture at home, or doing other types of research, you will be served ads that demonstrate some of the dangers so that you can be more aware of safe practices, or the need for safe practices. And so the new campaign also includes a redesign of moreaboutinjury.org. Our initial website really served the campaign, the initial phases of the campaign well, but through the metrics on user retention as well as the feedback left on the site, we realized people were looking for deeper knowledge on how to have conversations with their children, how to consume cannabis responsibly, and just be more knowledgeable of the laws. And so we were able to develop this new website. On the left, you can see the homepage. It really is in tune with the campaign that we've already established, using branded colors, vibrant images, and a tone that is approachable, welcoming, friendly. However, we did, because of the uniqueness of new pieces like the dangers of home manufacturing, we do have to continue to raise urgency with the messaging. On the right, you'll see some of the content throughout the site. Every page has safety tips for people who are considering consuming or consuming, as well as the key information like the state symbols, so that they are aware of state-regulated products and the importance of keeping the product away from children. Also, additional information that's helpful, such as how to decipher THC or CBD percentages. This next slide shows a parent page as well as a youth page. On the left, the parent page shows some of the interactivity on the site, allowing parents to dive into conversation starters or other key questions to ask their children as they're embracing this conversation on cannabis use. On the right, you can see an excerpt from the youth pages, where we're very cognizant of some of the challenges of educational materials on cannabis, and so we were intentional in not having images of products on pages and having other mechanisms that prevent you from accessing content that you should not have access to, such as storefront pages. And so regarding next steps, we have wrapped up the research around the dangers of home manufacturing, and we're assessing the campaign, the full analytics of roll out the dangers of home manufacturing materials, and we'll continue to build out the more about MJ.org website. And so whether you've been to the website previously or this is the first time you're learning of it, I encourage y'all to visit the site, learn more about the laws, understand your responsibilities, and have conversations with young people and how to consume responsibly.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sinclair. That's great. Commissioner Flanagan, you had some comments you would like to make?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you, Cedric. I really want to.
Cedric, can I have the-
I really want to thank the team at the Cannabis Control Commission, also at DPH and at More Advertising. They've worked diligently over the course of months to come up with this campaign. I think that it's really interesting. We have to strike a delicate balance between informing people about the legalized industry here, but also maintaining and understanding that we are also youth are looking for this information as well, and what's informative and engaging, but also really educational at the same time. I really want to thank the legislature and the governor. If it wasn't for the upstart money, then we wouldn't really be able to be where we are today. And I think that's just another example of how Massachusetts can get it right and the importance of educating the people here in Massachusetts about what we actually have for a legalized industry, given the path that it's taken. So I encourage people to share the More About Marijuana logo, share about the moreaboutamj.org website, really get people engaged and get them to understand some of the educational aspects of this. So thank you to everybody that was involved.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's great. We have 1 minute, I think, which means that we're... Okay, somewhere, there we go. I'm not aware of any other matters before the commission. Let me talk about upcoming public meetings, starting with the Cannabis Advisory Board on July 30th. We've made like 27 references to our next public commission meeting on August 8th. Hopefully by then we will have a time and a location. But we appreciate all the help we're getting from the Gaming Commission, from Department of Transportation, from the Mass
You don't get
Health Policy Commission. Thank you to all. I'm sure one of them will come through in the clutch for us. As you know, we have 2 public hearings coming up on our draft regulations, one on the 14th of August in Boston, one on the 15th of August in Springfield. We have said publicly many times, but let me just reiterate, that will be the end of the public comment period. So anybody that wishes to attend these hearings, obviously that's great. Anybody that wishes to submit formal comments to the commission, the deadline for doing so is the 15th of August. That being said, there's no further business in front of the commission. May I ask for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I have a second? That was quick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show that
Aye.
the commission is adjourned at 5 o'clock on July 17th, 2019. Thank you very much, everybody.
Very prompt.